Hello. I'm Suze. You may know me from nerdy nails or ridiculous shoes or Twitter handles that weren't supposed to stick, but I think my boss would like you to know me as someone that does community engagement at Digital Science. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how community engagement and empowerment can help accelerate all kinds of research, but particularly around sustainability. And I'm using the medium of everything, everywhere, all at once. Why am I doing that? Well, this is research at the moment, less so here, because it's a very cross-disciplinary, very, very mixed crowd of people. But generally speaking, what we tend to do in research is we stay within our own alpha universe. We go to conferences with people that have already read our papers that we already know. We tend to publish things in fairly obfuscatory language that is very specific to our subjects that other people can't understand necessarily or build on. And it's not a hugely collaborative endeavor. And that is a problem because some of our biggest challenges need to be cross-disciplinary. I've got a couple of examples here. You know, our big sort of global challenges are kind of sustainable development goal-led research. It's always going to be cross-disciplinary. But if you're not able to find research or identify research from outside of your own area, your own field, how is that going to be possible? How are we going to have microbiologists speaking to material scientists? How are we going to have butterfly researchers speaking to photovoltaic researchers? And so what we need to do is kind of bring all of this information together and find easy ways to slice and dice it so people can find exactly what they want, but also discover things they didn't know. Now, I had a lovely chat with Esther Dyson yesterday. We were talking about how much research is out there. There is a huge amount of research out there. Research is being published at unprecedented rates, but the problem is that it is everywhere. It is in lots of different disparate places. And if you want to try and bring all of that information together, to try and disambiguate it, to make connections, it can take a huge amount of time, a huge amount of effort. But we're, you know, smart people in this room, and I work with incredibly smart people that are trying to overcome these challenges so that we can actually dive into all of that data all at once. So this is an example of the everything bagel of research. A linked research database. Imagine if you can have all of these separate sources of information brought together in one place and all of those connections are made for you. Well, we can do that, and we can do that through, you know, all kinds of technology all at once, everything everywhere all at once. And this is our example. I'm using Dimensions as our example here. If you bring together all of that information though, that is kind of information overload. It's not the worst thing, but if we look at how much there is out there, yes, there is loads of scope to find exactly what you might want and discover things you don't know exist. But how on earth are you going to start doing it? So we tend to use things like keyword searches and lexical searches. And that is awesome because we can create really complex search queries based on the things within our own areas. We can establish prior art. We can understand exactly where we are at the moment. But the challenge there is that although you can bring all of that together, you're still searching within your universe of research. What we want to do is kind of use technology to find other ways to slice and dice that data. So one way, and I know there's been a huge amount of discussion about this here, is by using things like ontologies and knowledge domains so that we can actually identify concepts that may exist outside of our own particular research universe. So this is what's making things exciting. We're able to identify information that we didn't know we didn't know. So this is the equivalent of finding your hot dog universe of research. And this is exciting because that's how we're going to find novel solutions to some of the massive challenges that we're facing in research, in society, particularly around sustainability. Now, this is great, but what is driving all of this? Well, aside from kind of machine learning-based classifications and things, there is a massive community endeavor. We need to make sure that we're not just taking information out of this system, because that's what we tend to think about. We need to be mindful of the information that we're putting into that system as well. And so Simon Porter, who will be here somewhere, who has created those amazing collaboration maps at the back, go and have a look. You're right at the back there. I see you. Hi. He's a big proponent of research data citizenship, how we need to be mindful of what we're putting into the system. But the problem is that when you're putting a paper into a journal, you're given a bunch of fields that you need to fill in. And you do it because you have to do it. But I don't think we're great at reminding people of the value of doing that and doing it well. If you don't understand the value of doing it, you're not necessarily going to know what to do or what care to put into it. So it's not just the researchers that need to do this. This is a massive community endeavor. All stakeholders need to be involved. So I was going to tell you, there was an analogy with an espresso martini, but I've got 16 seconds. Basically, if you tell people to do things but not tell them why they need to do things, that's not fair. So we need to make sure that we are empowering our communities, making sure that we are kind of, scaffolding and building confidence in the things that they're doing so that we can ultimately make research better for everyone, everywhere, all at once. Thanks.